Hey guys, Kelly here, coming at you with a little bit, just a warning up front of tough love. Over the past week, I have talked to several of you about, you've reached out and said, I don't know, I just don't think Plexus is working for me, meaning the business side. Or I think I'm doing something wrong, or what I'm doing is not working. And it's not that you're doing it wrong, it's that you're not doing it. Or you're just doing pieces of it. And so I want to maybe make a parallel to a farmer or a gardener. Any of you who have been to my house or who have been in my yard or looked at my flower beds know that being out working in my yard is not a passion of mine. I have weeds. I mean, most of my stuff is overgrown. My husband, thank God, cuts the grass because that is not something that I want to do. We have mostly weeds, a little bit of grass. Our soil is basically solid rock. And if it were up to me, we would bulldoze it all and put down astroturf. I mean, that's my sort of attitude towards my yard. That's me. However, if I was told for some reason that I needed to provide for my family and plant crops in order for my family to survive, then I would figure out how to do it. And the first thing I would probably do is maybe talk to people like my stepdad, because he grew up on a farm, and ask him what types of seeds are going to grow in the soil that we have. How do I need to prepare the soil? I would probably have him come over. Maybe he could teach me where to plant it, what types of seeds I needed to purchase, where I could go purchase the seeds, what types of seasons would yield different crops. What could I plant near each other? What did some things need to have a stake in the ground? Did some things need to be covered or protected? I would probably look up some things on the internet. I might Google. I'm going to do a lot of research to figure out what I need to plant. I'm also going to look at my family, see what our needs are. What do we like to eat? What is healthy? What is practical for this climate? I would have a long list of questions, and I'm going to try to ask people who have done it before. I'm not going to try to figure all that out on my own. Then once I have a list from who I would consider to be an expert, I'm going to have to follow that pretty much to the T. Things like getting the soil ready, planting them, watering every day, or whatever the schedule is for those types of crops to come up, planting them in the right season, weeding. And if I were only going to do certain things only when I felt like it, then I can't be upset when the crops die. So if I say, well, I don't really feel like watering this week, I just hope it rains. And then if I get upset that all my plants dry up and die, then that's really not the plant's fault. It's my fault. And I can't go to my stepdad and say, well, I thought you told me that these tomatoes were going to come up. And him say, well, I don't think you watered them. Or him say, well, Kelly, look at all these weeds. I mean, you weeded over here where these crops are, but you didn't weed over on this side. And so that's why these died. I'm like, oh, you mean I have to weed all the rows? Oh, I thought I could just do it till I was tired. Oh, you really meant for me to put a stake in the ground for these tomatoes to climb up? I thought that was just a suggestion. And if I continued to go to my stepdad and ask him the same questions over and over again, at some point he would probably get pretty frustrated with me, because he would say, listen, I'm telling you exactly what to do. Just follow me. Actually, you know what? Come to my house, because I have successfully planted crops. I've got some, lettuce coming up, and I've got all these different crops. And so let's say I went over and looked at it, and I was super inspired. I took pictures. I maybe spent a whole day with him working out in his garden, knew exactly what to do, came back fired up. I get my soil ready, I get the plants planted, and then I'm doing everything right. I'm weeding every day, I'm watering every day, I'm planting in the right season. Everything is correct. But then we have a cold night. We have like a snap freeze, and it kills the plants. There are going to be things in your Plexus business that are outside of your control, just like with planting. But you know what? If you continue to do the right steps consistently over and over and over again, eventually you're going to step out into your backyard and say, oh my gosh, I have all these crops, probably so many that you can't even harvest it all. And that's what I wish for you. I want for you to have that in your Plexus business. But please, guys, know that I am an emerald. I've done it. If you want to be an emerald, and I say these are the steps that you need to do, you really can't pick and choose which ones you feel like doing and when you feel like doing it if you also want to go emerald. And who did I learn that from? Melissa. Why? Because she has gone emerald, and she learned it from other people who have gone emerald. I don't learn just from Melissa. I get on podcasts. I get on calls. I listen to trainings. I'm going to convention. I went to convention. I'm reading books. I'm posting consistently. I am utilizing three-way calls. When you call me and say, hey, it's not working, I'm going to ask you, what about it is not working? Is it the three-way calls? Is it the posting? Let's look at the things that you're doing and figure out where there is maybe a disconnect. And when you can't show me a post and you can't show me a three-way call and you can't tell me about a book that you're reading or the last podcast or the last training call that you got on, then there is nothing for me to do to be able to help you but to point you right back to those basics. It's like going to the gym. If you get sore the first day and you never go back, I promise you're never going to have a six-pack. There's going to be a little bit of pain and discomfort and discipline, and you actually have to get up and go and do the things every day when you feel like it, when you don't feel like it, when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's pretty, when maybe you'd rather go do something else. I am mindful of my Plexus business every day. Now, am I sitting at my computer 24 hours a day actively working my business? No, but it is in my mind. When people text me or message me, I've had to restrict myself sometimes. It might be the middle of a meal and I'll pick my phone up and Andy will say, really? You need to respond to that right now? And I have to think to myself. And sometimes I say, yes, I do need to. But there's other times when I turn the phone off, when I have it in my office, when it's plugged up in another room, when I turn the ringer off, because I want to focus on my family. We want to have a movie night. We want to be at dinner and not be distracted. When I went on the cruise, could I have, it was the month before I went emerald. Could I have paid extra every day to have access to internet? Yes. And I knew that if I did that, I would have just been stuck to my phone the entire time and I would not have been able to enjoy my family. So please don't feel like I'm saying that you have to be 100% always working your Plexus business. However, when it becomes just a sometimes, it's never going to happen. I promise you. It's like that analogy of a plane getting off the ground. If you're always just barely rolling forward, you're never going to take off. I promise it's not going to happen. You will eventually run out of runway. You might have to turn around and go back the other direction or get back in line for takeoff. And so some of you are doing that right now. You've been doing the business for over a year, and now you're motivated. Now you're ready to do it. And when you come to me and say, Kelly, I'm ready to do it now. I'm excited. I'm ready to build the business. What do I need to do? Then I say, okay, let's start over. And we start talking about the basics, making your list of 100, scheduling a sip and see. Who is your top 20? Let's put a daily method of operation together for you that's right for you. Mine may be different than yours, but I'm going to share with you what mine is and what has worked for me. So I come to you today, guys, because I love each of you and I know that you can do this business, but you can't give yourself an excuse why you can't do it. I'm too busy. I have 3 kids. I travel. I work full time. They're all excuses. What I want you to start thinking about are reasons and motivations for you to do it anyway. So please reach out to me if you have questions. I'm definitely here to support you. I want to support you. I want you to succeed, but I can't want it more than you want it for yourself. And I can't spend more time in your business than you're willing to do that for yourself. So hopefully you'll take that as we come to month end. I hope I have lots of you reach out to me after you watch this and say, hey, I'm ready to go. Tell me what I need to do and I will do it. And I'm going to help to guide you to figure out what is best for you and your business. Thanks, guys.